Well, do you ever hear people using terms and the terms seem like they're pretty similar, but you think that there might be something different in the way that they're saying them? I was recently speaking at a GRC conference and I was talking about common controls and how an organization can create common controls. So, for example, it's a control, one control that meets maybe five different regulatory requirements. And so instead of doing things five times, you're only doing it once, right? So that makes a lot of sense when we're talking about risk management and GRC. And afterwards, a lady came up to me and she said, you're talking about common controls. Isn't that the same thing? I hear people talking about general controls and key controls. And so we had a little discussion. And let me kind of go through what I explained to her and emphasize a point here about language. So when you hear the term common control, key control, general control, they seem like they're all kind of the same thing, but in fact they're not. So as I said, a common control is something where you're trying to create one control that helps you do five different things. That's one type of a control. You could also have a general control, which is similar to a common control, but what it is it's a control at a general level within the organization that helps you to do multiple things. And a lot of times those general controls happen to be what some people call soft controls. They're things around culture and some other things like that as well. Versus a key control, which happens to be something that you have to do in order for the process to work. And so as I got to thinking about this, I realized, there's a lot of people out there like this lady. And what you need to do is have the courage, just like she did, to reach forward and say, you know what, maybe I don't understand this. You're saying three different things, and to me, they all seem like they're the same thing. So first off, have the courage to actually ask and be curious to find out what is the difference. The other thing is, if you're talking to somebody and they might be using one term and you think that it means something else, or you think it's another term that you're already using, then stop them at that point and say, I'm curious when you say X, because, I want to know what you mean by that. And as you get into those discussions, then what happens is you start to actually learn what they mean by those things. And often you find out you're saying the same thing, or maybe you are saying something that's slightly different. So anyway, just some thoughts about that, because again, in order for you to be able to manage risk effectively, the language is important, and you need to understand what people mean when they're using certain words so that you can communicate better. Because ultimately, you want to be understood, you want to be valued, and baby, you want to be a rock star in risk management.